Greetings. Welcome to another episode of the Americans Moment. Spending that time with all of you guys, everyone in the world of internet radio. I think it's an appropriate time for us right now to kind of get things out in the open. Kind of bury the hatchet, so to speak. And while we still have our freedoms, the freedom of speech, it's really important that we cherish that too. Yes, greetings everyone. I want to take a little bit of a different turn tonight, and I want to share a couple of parallels. No, I don't really get spiritual and things like that when it comes to this format. I'll leave that to the pastors and ministers and the like. But as I'm looking at this whole election debacle, this election mess, this claptrap of confusion, mind you, one person did warn vigorously about this, and no need for me to say his name, but he did warn about this. Now, as the U.S. is looking on and the world's looking on, we have a media complex that has knighted one individual to take over the reins of power in this country and become the most powerful man in the world. There's a part of me that just can't, won't, and hopefully it doesn't happen. I know there are tons of people in the United States of America that's praying for an outcome to keep us safe. Before I move forward, I have a question for everyone. Are we not in an incredible time of peace? Let's ponder that for a second. We have no wars in Syria that America's involved in. The Iraq war is done. We have no wars going on in Afghanistan. And yet we have soldiers coming back, and hopefully they should be pretty much cleared out, most of them out of Afghanistan before the end of the year. But on the heels of that, the prospects and the possibilities, just if things go another way, because I believe truly, and whatever your preference is on abortion, pro-life, pro-choice, I just can't help but think 60 million babies slaughtered, 60 million children killed, 60 million plus of our own that never had a chance to breathe their own breath outside of the mother's womb, which is a tragedy. It's a travesty. It's horrible. But that's our country, right? Those are the things that we believe in? I think not. All the God-fearing, God-loving, country-loving individuals that love the very ground that they walk on, they say different. But I want to talk about King David. And King David getting to a point to where at the end of his life, he was beginning to lay it all down. So I can kind of say he was beginning to have a transfer, a peaceful transfer of power, right? Not that he can do anything about it. You know, you got the Grim Reaper right there waiting for you. So yeah, that transfer of power was going to happen regardless. But there was a situation in the book of Kings, chapter 1, and it was one of David's sons. His name was Adonijah, and he was the son of Haggith. It said that he exalted himself, saying, I will be king. Now, when I was talking about the parallels, I'm going to bring it from the past to the future. So pay attention. He prepared for himself chariots and horsemen, 50 men to run before him. And his father had not rebuked him at any time, saying, why have you done so? He was also very good looking. His mother had borne him after Absalom. And Absalom was a handsome dude, just as handsome as me. Then he conferred with Joab, the son of Zeruiah, and Abiathar, the priest, and they followed and helped Adonijah. But Zadok the priest, Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, Nathan the prophet, Shimei, Ray, and the mighty men who belonged to David were not with Adonijah. They were not with Adonijah. And so he sacrificed sheep, oxen, fattened calf, all the stuff like that. And what happened was, word got back to his mother Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon. Now, Solomon was the one that was called for the time to be the king of Israel. And it was being taken right up from under him. It was being stolen. It was sabotaged. And as these things happened, Adonijah went out and started proclaiming to be king, and then you had people around him, and they're making these great proclamations. And I got to thinking about that. I thought about what's happening with the media right now. We have one man that had a lot of help, but proclaimed himself to be the president-elect. And I started thinking about this story and thinking about that, because it is so similar. The stark differences is not that much. The similarities are extremely close. There are people out there, media pundits, and they're not journalists anymore, ladies and gentlemen. They're out there going before, and they're making the proclamation, the AP, all the networks, and all the mega tech giants. They make this proclamation, and they say that this man is the president-elect of the United States. After it was stolen, so many facts, so many things happening. And so as I look at this here, Solomon was the rightful king to the throne. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not attempting to be provocative, but I believe Trump is the rightful man for the Oval Office. I don't get all spiritual with these things, like I said, but think about the timing. Think about the way the world, the direction of the country and the world was going before he came. Mind you, going to Solomon, Solomon was the wisest man that ever lived, with, I would say, the exception of Christ himself. But what Solomon did, how he built the kingdom, how he built up Israel. Look at Trump. He builds up Israel. He builds up America. There's not one person that I meet on the face of this earth that can tell me now, from what I've seen and what 74 million others have seen and witnessed over the last almost 4 years, that this man loves this country. And so while he's doing his job, he's open to transferring of power, peaceful transfer of power, and all those things like that. We have ones like ex-President Obama lashing out at the president to concede, when we have not just one irregularity, we have dozens, hundreds, thousands of irregularities of voter fraud, and the fix is in and the steal is on. So we have the media on one hand sacrificing oxen and calves and goats and all that stuff, making proclamations, setting up cabinets, and it was stolen. And so the outcome of that was the king was very old, and Bathsheba came and brought the attention to the king of what was going on. And his words, he said, "Assuredly Solomon your son shall reign after me." I truly believe that Donald Trump will have another 4 years to continue to make this country great. Because I'm going to tell you what, this election was and is being stolen. All the media pundits out there that are making the proclamations, it doesn't even matter unless the electors say so. And so let's say the electors are standing in a position of a higher authority. They're going to get to the bottom of it, and they're going to clean the mess up. And then, only then, will this country and the world will be able to move forward. Because there's a real president and there's an imposter. And I think you know who the imposter is. Till next time. See you guys.